Oh, we're live now.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Hello. Welcome to Fully Charged Europe, episode 31. It's the ETF2L award show special. So we are stacked to the rafters with ETF2L head admins, former ETF2L head admins, and future ETF2L head admins. Sideshow.
Yeah, they wish.
I'm Admirable. With us tonight, we got the usual suspects: Sideshow, Kaidus, CommanderX, and a new addition here, Dr. Phil. His first time on Fully Charged. How does it feel, buddy?
Okay, I guess.
Smile, you're on camera.
Yay!
SonnyBlack makes a return as well, and we have Permzilla here. And kind of, mixed circumstances. He won the league, sure, but he left the league at the same time. Permzilla, how does it feel?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Anyone, want to get a little bit emotional, maybe eulogize Permzilla's time as ETF2L head admin?
No.
I've heard enough.
Normally it would fall to his boss to say something, SonnyBlack. You got any words for Perm? What a great job he did, etc.?
I'm not sure if he really did a great job, but it was easy to work with.
That's something I guess.
Sideshow, do you think we're entering a new dark age for ETF2L now that Permzilla, the only voice of reason and change, is gone?
The voice of reason.
How long have you been writing that one?
Yeah, they need to bring on some fresh blood now. They can't be promoting these Highlander admins like Beep really wants. God, if we listen to Beep, Highlander would be the number one focus of ETF2L for the foreseeable future. SonnyBlack would never be allowed back on the website.
ETF2L is back to a dictatorship now.
It was always like that. I don't know why you pretend it wasn't. Permzilla was dangling from your strings like oh, puppet. You've just cut them loose now. He's just sat on the floor, he's slumped in a mess. This doll never to move again.
Right. Then if you're the dictator, SonnyBlack, let's throw it to the Fuhrer. This is the part you love, the ETF2L award show. I'm going to look back fondly at season 22. SonnyBlack, what awards? What can you tell us about the awards? I believe a few of them have already been, doled out. Why didn't you let the public vote? Why are you so ruthless, SonnyBlack?
The public gets to vote. The public just doesn't get to nominate because A, it would take more time to get the nominations, and B, I think the Premiership players have a better grasp on who did how well. I don't know.
But it
So
takes
it's
the
just
fun out
easy
of
to
it.
collect.
He just gave the award to Stark and Flippy for Scout and Off-Classer of the season, respectively.
If there's not enough, like I can look at the nominations, but if someone gets like 22 nominations and the next person gets one, I'm not going to include that one person because he got one nomination.
Come on, man! Give us some, honorable mentions at least. Like who else was in the list?
Looking at Scout, Stark got 18 nominations, and the next best are 5 people with each one nomination. That's Shocky, Huffy Cool, Ast, Clockwork, and Sorry.
Go Clockwork! Clockwork's second best scout in front of the season, but
I'm not
What
gonna.
about the off-classer category then, Sonny? Who else was nominated?
Flippy got 21, and then Forsaken with 1, Talash with 1, and Stark with 1.
Who voted
I'm
for
not
Thalash?
gonna include Lex.
Okay.
it would be nice if they were done like. Can we have a referendum to change the voting method to like AV? So like we give our first choice and then second choice and third choice, so that this shit doesn't happen. It's not a whitewash. Because Stark isn't that much better than everybody else, but because everyone's like thinking, yeah, Stark's probably the right one, then it ends up getting stacked that way.
Maybe.
Yeah, you should be able to rank all the candidates, that way you would have some fair representation, or at least, I don't know. It took the fun out of it for me. Permzilla or SonnyBlack.
Could just be like nominate like a top 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I was about to
Because-
say maybe a
Or
top 3
three
because ranking 8 players, and then towards the end, people will be like, yeah, just rank them whatever the way you are. They are all almost equal or something. So maybe a top 3 next time.
Got any opinions then, SonnyBlack, as to the order we do the awards here? Does anybody want to hear an award quickly? Or will I just go down the order it is on the news page? No one has an opinion. Going once, going twice. SonnyBlack, tell me the nominees for Demo Man of the season, please.
You also want to know who didn't make it in the
Oh
nominations?
yeah. Blow by blow account, please. Spare no details, Sonny.
Yeah, Ryder got 1 nomination, which wasn't enough to get into the poll. But Kaidus got 78% of nominations and Spud got 17. So those two made it into the poll.
Gotta ask real quick then. Well, I'll lead the charge here. I voted for Kaidus, guys. Might surprise you. Permzilla, who did you vote for and why?
Perm, please can you turn your fucking girlfriend's vibrator off? It's like, it's coming through in your mic or something
Oh,
as
it's because I'm
well.
not tapping. My push talk's that's my bad.
Jesus Christ.
I voted for Kaidus. Don't think as much, but really.
Oh my
Spud's
God.
good, but
I have no idea what you said.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you need to get close to the mic, you know? Like, mine's that far away, you're sat like this.
I can't help it.
100 miles from your microphone.
Can you hear me now, though?
Yeah, crystal
Yeah.
clear.
I said a vote for Kaidus because he was the best, and I don't think there's much debate. Spud's good, but Kaidus number 1.
SonnyBlack, do you vote?
Yeah. I didn't really see a lot of games, but I voted Kaidus out of a habit, I guess.
CommanderX?
I voted for Kaido as well.
Kato?
I probably voted for Kaido. I don't remember.
I like your style. Dr. Phil, Demo Man extraordinaire, who do you vote for?
I voted for Kaidus as well.
Did everyone
Sideshow.
did everyone nominate Kaidus here as well as voting for him? Did people have different ones?
I did.
What a circle jerk.
Sideshow, are you going to be the one Spud fan here?
No, I'm not.
Who did you
I'm
vote
not.
for?
I voted for Kaidus as well. I nominated
You didn't
Kaidus
even
and
vote for
voted
your own
Kaidus.
Demo Man.
No, because I feel like even though Spud is really good and like it could be the best demo like in the next season or next 2 seasons, Kaidus was numero uno this season.
You have respect for the the value of these votes. You're not going to just
I'm not just throwing it away by voting for my own team.
SonnyBlack then, That's name or misery. Who won? I can't guess.
Well, Kaidus won with 67% over Spud with 22.
Kaidus, you've already won quite a few awards so far in your TF2 career. How does this one feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Loose Cannon for allowing a no-skill gamer like myself to pick up an award.
No surprises here. Let's keep it moving. Next award up, SonnyBlack, Medic of the Season. This is one that's really juicy, I think. Tell us who the nominees were. And everyone that got nominated, I guess.
The nominees were Kos and Permzilla, and Nox and Bull didn't make it in with 2 nominations each.
That's a sad state of affairs. Like, if Nox is playing, he's usually a shoe-in for Medic of the Season. How the mighty have fallen.
It wasn't a particularly good season for them, though, was it? Like, it's not like they were slamming the season. And the only reason Nox gets Medic of the Season anyway is because he contributes to like a team that's doing really well with calls and stuff like that. It's never for his mechanical skill or his individual skill as Medic. Bull, I think, got shafted just by fucking dropping the ball in the finals. Like, if he hadn't played the finals, I'm sure he would have been nominated more than that. But people just looked at that and they were like, "What the fuck was he doing?"
Well, Sideshow, do you think then the same thing applies to Permzilla? Did he get nominated for Medic of the Season by, his merits or just because he's in the winning team?
Well, I think being on the winning team and being able to like cope with being in the winning team is enough to justify you for being Medic of the Season if you've never played Medic before as well. And he played a really good Grand Finals as well, so.
That he did. Who did you nominate, Sideshow, or who did you vote for even?
I nominated Koss and voted for Koss because I still think he played better than Perm.
But you wouldn't vote for Spud. Divisions in the full tilt team.
I'm just voting for
Fractured
who I
live on
think's
air.
the best.
Dr. Phil.
I think I nominated and voted for Perm as well. Not for Perm, actually.
Kaidus, do I even need to ask?
I definitely voted for Perm. I don't think I nominated him though. I think I just abstained from the Medic nominations because it was kind of atrocious season for Medics. But, I went with Perm in the end.
CommanderX, were you surprised to see 2 English medics as the only options?
It's been a long time. I think the last English medics to get nominated before now was what? Dunk?
Bite, probably.
Bite?
At
Maybe,
some
yeah,
point.
Bite and Dunk.
Bite and Dunk.
Yeah.
Did Serotonin not get nominated?
Oh yes,
so,
Seroton. True.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
yeah, Zeraton.
I voted for Perm because I think he had the better season, even though I think Koss is the better medic overall, but there's the ETF2L awards, so Perm had a better ETF2L season. So we got my vote.
Sonny B.
Voted for Perm, so he has won something at least.
Going away present.
You didn't want to stick the knife in there, you weren't tempted to just click that cost button?
No.
Permzilla, did you vote for yourself or did you throw a lifeline to your old buddy, King of Squirrels?
No, I voted for myself, of course. I know it costs though, but we've got
Just
my
you can
Not
nominate
allowed to
yourself.
nominate yourself.
Well, yeah, but I could just not
Because you
nominate
cannot.
anyone. Could have just abstained.
I'm sure Koss is very grateful.
He should be, yeah.
I voted for Perm as well. I think you had a great season, buddy, and I hope you've won the award. Please, SonnyBlack, tell us it's true.
It was a pretty close one, but Koss came in second place with 47.5%, and Permzilla won with 52.5%.
Robbed by this no-skill look move.
You got a speech prepared, Permzilla? Congratulations.
Nothing to say.
You
I don't
got
think his
something to say.
microphone
Your
can handle a
fans,
speech.
your fans are on Twitch, Shannon.
Koss said he was going to uninstall, so I'm just waiting for that now.
Koss is going to uninstall because you beat him in this. I think that's fair. There should be some sort of other forfeit, maybe eat a bull dick or something.
He's already
I've got a
failed
supply.
it once.
Okay, so far no surprises in the awards. This one might be a little bit more open, but I can't entirely remember who the nominees were. But Best Pocket Soldier of the Season, SonnyBlack. Tell me the
For
candidates.
nominations, Tech and Silentis were tied with 10 nominations. Captain got 3, so barely made it in, and Ams got 1, so he didn't get in.
I think I voted Captain, and I think it's because I felt bad for not voting for him last season. Of course, he's the pocket on the winning team as well. It's always easy to go for that option, but I'd voted for Tech in the past. I just couldn't bring myself to vote for Silentis. It had to be Captain, I think. Permzilla, who did you vote for and why?
I actually voted for Silentis. I think it's harder when your soldier, you sort of see everything they do, and for me, Silentis killed me a lot and stuff, whereas I didn't see it as much as what Captain does. So, and still plays such a massive part of his team that I sort of just voted him for that, basically. I would have voted for Captain second, but yeah.
We just about made that out over the sound of you molesting an inkjet printer or whatever the fuck that is. But SonnyBlack, who's
Yes.
the popular pocket in Canada?
You mean who I voted for, I guess?
Yes, thanks for reading between the lines there, SonnyBlack.
I think I voted for Tech. I'm not sure, but I think I did.
Why? What was it about Tech that, made you want him?
I don't really remember. I'm not even sure if I voted for it. Like, I would have to look it up.
We've got time.
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead. CommanderX.
Yeah.
Put this man out of his misery. Give me some passion. Who did you vote for in the old pocket race?
I voted for Slentis because, I didn't want to vote for anyone from Epsilon this season because they were just atrocious. Yeah, everything. And Captain, did well, but because everyone else on his team was playing so well, like Stark and Kaidus and that, all he had to do was do his job. Whereas Slentis didn't quite have, the all-star backup, so he really had to stand out and play his best to get his team where he was. You played well in the last 2 games, Sideshow, but that was you waited till week 8 to bring it out.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that Salinta's pocket and roamed this season. I think that's worth some credit.
Yeah, that's why I voted for him. He does 2 jobs at once, and he starts and he calls a lot. So,
do you think that's fair, Kaidus? Did Salintis do the most for his team of all the nominees?
I think relative to his team, he did. But if there was still that MVP thing we used to do, where it was kind of not best player, but the kind of most important, I would have gone for Sil for that. But I went for Captain for Pocket. I don't know, it's kind of hard because it feels quite a long time ago. Tech just had a really bad final. I think he had surgery or something, or a tooth removed or something, and was kind of in a bit of a shit.
Teeth came out. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a bit of a shit state for the final, but either way, for him being quite below his standard for the final. And between Sil and Captain, it was kind of weird. Like people say, Sil does basically have to play for 2 soldiers, but there's a lot of occasions where I don't know if he gets baited in by Sideshow's shortcomings, and he tries to do too much, and it actually ends up hurting Full Tilt sometimes. I don't know, he definitely had more standout moments than Captain, but Captain was just super solid. He barely put a foot wrong the whole season. He played kind of a really different way to how he normally plays in a lot of senses, because I don't know, because there's so many of the calls of our team were coming from me this season, even more so than normal. It resulted in me getting more heals, meaning Captain had less heals than he probably would have been comfortable with. But he just adapted to it all like a champ, and yeah, barely put a foot wrong the entire time. And people say it's easy when your team's winning, but the way our team works, if only me and Stark are playing well, then what happens is we don't lose rounds because I'm playing quite defensive and not dying. Stark gives us a lot of opportunities, but then someone has to, Stark makes us advantages, and someone has to follow up on those advantages every time, and it's a lot of that is Captain. So that's why I went for Captain.
You're kind of Captain's father figure in the game, at least, that you brought him up to this level and he's progressed. Did you see more progression this season, and do you think he's got more to give?
Yeah,
can he get better?
Yeah, if you give it's probably never really going to happen in our team because of the way we're set up. It's I'm calling, so the call without a lot of heals is really difficult because you're not involved in enough of the fights as a demo man if you don't get a lot of heals. So for Captain, if he was in a team maybe with a medic main calling or something like that, you'd see beast mode Captain instead of just super solid, not making mistakes Captain.
Dr. Phil, who did you have the most trouble dealing with of these 3 nominees this season?
Personally, it was Tech. He did so much when we played against him, and I think besides the final, he had a decent season. At least all the times we played against Tech, he did so much for the team. So I nominated and voted for Tech.
Sideshow, I know this is a tough category for you. Tell us your thoughts on the nominees.
I think Tech was the team wasn't doing well around him, and he was a central point of the team that they were supposed to be working around. But I don't think he's never pocketed with somebody like Numlocked as well, as far as I can think. I'm thinking through my head, but no, I don't think he's ever pocketed with a demo that's really taken charge of the team before. And he occasionally just kind of looked like he was just kind of being dragged along by the whole force of the match, being dragged along by the flow of the game whenever you were playing with Epsilon. Occasionally he'd make good plays, and you'd see the Tech that's like got the fantastic DM and been able to pocket so well, but I don't think he really stood out at all. And the team didn't do as well as they potentially could have done, which I mean isn't his fault, but it's just how it goes. He wasn't at his highest level. He wasn't living up to his potential. And then between Salentis and Captain, which I think is really where it comes down to for me, it was just I had to give it to Salentis based on the impact he has in his team. The amount he has to do and the calling, like the fact that he's a pivotal part of the team and still managed to do so well. I mean, he takes far less heals than Permzilla, like a ridiculous amount of damage every game. He does have a higher amount of deaths compared to the rest of the pockets because of that. Like he tends to go for more stuff, but I think he's like forced to because of the team at some points. Like I'll fail things and then he has to go in. Yeah.
So, just to confirm, who did you nominate / vote for?
Still for both.
We've heard the cases for all the pocket soldiers then, but SonnyBlack, you're the man with the info. Open the envelope, reveal the winner.
Salentis came third with 25.8%. That changed only like in the past 2 days. Before that, he was second place for quite a while. Then second is Captain with 31 and Tech wins with 42%.
Deserved.
Absurd.
Tech wins. What? That's good. Kind of goes against everything we've just been talking about there.
French circle jerk.
Is it just because he ran the direct hit at DreamHack? Was the vote? I can't even remember when the vote ended. But
the vote was live. DreamHack still happened.
So much what Sideshow said rings true that it wasn't really an impressive season for Tech. Oh well, the public have voted. I guess it's a good thing that we just gave those awards to Flippy and start going. Congratulations to Tech. He's won before, hasn't he? Sort of the season.
He's been Pocket of the Season, Roamer of the Season, and Off Class of the Season before. So this is his second, Pocket of the Season award.
Are we just all biased against TF2 Center now because of their dick moves over like DreamHack and season in general? Did Tech actually have a beast season and we're not realising it?
Definitely wasn't bad, and he played really good in some games, but for a team of kind of that caliber to, like, I don't know, it was like really mediocre in the end. So it was a bit of good, bit of bad. But, yeah.
Salentis will have to get him. He has to be immortalised now, Sideshow. You need that PJ Silliman in your chat.
It's going to be a torrent of salt the next time I'm in a mumble with him. He's somewhere crying now. He says in Twitch chat, sad face, this is dumb, I kill self now. Captain says rip as well. Please, two of them are going to have a suicide pact.
No Ripperino, please. Moving on then, down the list here on the news post. Next up, best roaming soldier of the season. SonnyBlack. Who were the nominees?
Mike, Zebozai, and Demul.
Demul?
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone else get a vote there or a nominee?
Nope.
Nomination?
Those three made it in. And there's no fourth.
Sideshow. Discuss.
Bible thump. No, it's those three were the best roamers of the season. I mean, Mike plays this different style to pretty much any other roamer in Prem at the moment, where he's he outputs like a ridiculous amount of damage, and he won't really jump in and go for the flashy plays or even go for like any kind of distraction. He's just outputting damage all the time. Even if he's playing more on the flank, he still doesn't jump through the flank and try and get round onto people and actually flank people. He'll just destroy everyone on the flank, just literally walking forwards, just hitting rocket after rocket. Or he'll go in ahead of his team and make space for his team, but also doing damage, and then will fall back to heals as the rest of his team goes forwards. And so he plays a different style of roamer, but he's so effective at it. Like, he's just absolutely slamming people. Like, if you look at the stats after every game, he pretty much top damaged on every map. Probably not, but it was something ridiculous like that. And then Zebasai is probably the best of the other style of roamer. He played like really well in the grand finals. He was getting up to that. And then Dimul is carrying Lego, so that's why he got a nomination. He's just destroying the flank whenever he plays for them. He's one of their best players.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that Demul's in there, but clearly these are the the
Well, I mean,
nominations.
he was
Like,
on the
where's-
fourth place team, and he was one of their
Where's
best
the love for
players.
Shadowburn?
He wasn't.
where's the-
Honestly, he wasn't playing like.
Where are the
particularly
Concrete
well this season.
fanboys in the Premiership? No nominations for Concrete?
They were. What were they? Sixth.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, sixth. You want a
No
sixth?
nominations for Sideshow? Hello?
Well, that's the real problem, isn't it?
Okay, Dr. Phil, talk to us about the legend of Demul.
Well, he did so much for our team this season. It's ridiculous. He carried us through so many games by just distracting and doing big plays, picking off the medic, and going and he's sniping as well on so many maps. He was mainly the reason, I would say, that we did so well in the season.
Did you nominate? Or did you vote for Demul?
Yeah, I voted for Demul.
Sideshow, who did you vote for?
I voted for Mike. I think I nominated Zebo, but voted for Mike or something. I can't remember. I can't quite remember. I changed my mind and went for Mike either way. Like I was going to vote for Zebasai and I
You
didn't go
nominated
for Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike, both for them.
Jason Allen.
I voted for Zebo, but that was like partially biased. Like I tried to like vote for whoever I just like want to win and like make my nominations more serious. But like when I nominated, I don't think I even nominated a roamer because I was like I was doing them kind of quickly and it was like a really hard one. So I like kind of abstained. But like yeah, I feel like I don't know. Mike probably played the best, but I feel like the style he plays, I find it difficult to say he was the best roamer if his team doesn't win with him playing that style because it's kind of like it's a lot more of a selfish style of play compared to the other roamers. So it's like if your team wins while you're doing it, then okay, cool, great, you're the best. But if your team's losing and you're playing this style, then I feel like there's other stuff you could do that could maybe help them win more like in a more like team-oriented way and like enable the other players who are maybe falling short. So I don't know. I kind of struggled between Zebo and Mike there. I didn't really see enough of Demol. Like our game against Demol was he was a complete pain in the ass for sure, but I was like it was so long ago. I was like I can't really comment on Demol. It was between Zebo and Mike for sure, but I don't know. I probably should have nominated Mike because Zebo only played like half the season or something like that. But for the reasons I said before, I found it difficult to nominate Mike, even though he did play really well.
Do you think Mike was part of the downfall of TF2 Center?
No, I wouldn't say that, but I just feel like I don't know. It's a different style of play, and he's really good at it. But I'm just not necessarily sure it's what's necessarily best for the team. But they would know better than I would.
I know, it's a weird style to play, especially with Tech and Numlocked being so heal heavy as well, to have like their roamer based around that combo as well. It just seems like everyone's based around it and everyone else is getting just sort of hung out to dry.
Yeah. Like it's not like Mike never goes in or like makes plays or whatever, but like a lot of the time, like on like a granary mid or something, he'll jump the crate, control like this from his side for like the top left crate, and just control this crate and like do damage from up there. And if he hits every rocket, it's great and it's really difficult to deal with. But at the same time, there's not a roamer behind you have to deal with, especially when Tech is his partner. Like on some other teams, it's been really effective because you've had a pocket you've had a pocket that will just jump in and create the space, and it all works like quite well together. But when you have two pockets two soldiers that like to chill and like just be the damage dealing soldiers, it's can be quite weird. Is that funny?
Who did you vote for in the end up then?
I think I voted
Zebo?
for Zebo in the end, but that was like a bias though. I'll say it like I vote for who I want to actually win, but I try to make the nominations more serious. And this one was too hard, so I just didn't nominate anyone.
CX, who did your heart lie with?
I think I voted for Mike, but I think I didn't really want to. Like, he probably played the best, like, I don't know, most consistent play as well. Like, Zebasai took a while to get going, and Demul kind of trailed out towards the end of the season, whereas Mike was at least consistent. I don't know. Yeah. I think I voted for Mike in the end. But I'm not convinced.
Sorry, I'm just put my eyes on Twitch chat there, and it's just bizarre. But anyway, I'll go to Permzilla next. Tell me about your thoughts on the Rover of the Season award.
Well, I nominated Demo because I felt like he deserved some recognition, and I knew Mike and Zebsai would get nominated, so I just felt like he did play quite well, like not on the level of either of them, but I just felt like if he's in the award, he'd get some recognition. But I voted for Zebsai because I think he had a really good final in particular, and I just prefer the style of Roma compared to Mike.
I voted for Zebo as well, and I think it was kind of out of spite as to the whole DreamHack situation. But Zebasai was playing well, exciting to watch, and a beast in the final, as you say. SonnyBlack, tell us who you voted for, and then hit us with the results, man.
I think I voted for Mike. Because I think he's, I don't know, the best or one of the best aimers in the game. From the every time I see a game he's playing in, I'm just really impressed. I don't know. The awards. Demul got 3rd place with 13%. Zebuzai got 2nd place with 38%, and Mike wins once again with 47%, which is his 16th award now, I think.
Unbelievable. Gets pooped on in the finals, still wins anyway. Any surprise, any reaction there? Mike won, guys. Another award for Mike. Is he the most? He's got the most awards still.
Yeah.
He was tied with Shocky, was he previously?
No. Mike was on 15, Shocky was on 12, and Kaidus was on 10.
Oh,
now
wow.
Mike's on 16, Shocky's on 12, and Kaidus is on 11.
Congratulations, Michael Adams. Something to take with you to Overwatch, I guess. Okay.
I'd just
We're
like to
gonna
point
wait.
out that I actually have
Okay.
a couple of Highlander awards, so you can top that up.
Those
No?
don't count.
Or any of those on Spy.
Still a real.
Those don't
Spy of the
count.
seasons.
But they take up more room on the awards fucking page than the Sixes awards do.
But the 6 awards are on top.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's go to the Best Player of the Season award. SonnyBlack, the nominees, please.
Nominated were Stark and Mike, and Kaidus and Zebuzai didn't make it in with 2 and 1 nominations.
Hit me up, Sideshow. Why do you think Stark Mike was the best player of the season?
I actually don't. Like, I was struggling who to nominate for this one. I didn't I didn't really know who to, but after thinking about it afterwards, like after I'd already nominated somebody, I was like, damn, I should have nominated Kaidus for that one, because he's the person like behind the team that's winning at the moment, and he's doing really well in it as well. Like, he's playing the best ever, but he's also controlling the team that's winning the season. So I think I nominated Mike, and I voted for Mike as well, because I think he played a better like player of the season than Stark did, purely because I'm coming from it like who was doing the best for their team. I think Mike was like trying to carry these scrubs who haven't practiced in a while, whose DM and positioning were a little bit off because they haven't been keeping up with it and practicing enough, and he's just playing so consistently, hitting all of his shots, making things happen when he needs to, and the rest of his team just getting kind of dragged along there. So I voted for him, even though he's not playing an impact class really, and his team didn't win. But I think the case for Stark being the player of the season is fairly strong. I mean, I can see why people nominated for him, but I don't feel like he was like vastly the best player on Reason. I think if Reason had somebody else, they would probably still be a really good team and still win the season. Like if they had another top scout on that team, because the way that they're structured is so solid, they'd still be able to get over that hump. Whereas I think TF2 Center without Mike would have been so bad.
Fair points. Dr. Phil, have you got any insight for us?
Not really. Like, I voted for Mike as well, I believe, and nominated Mike. Yeah, Sideshow did so much for this team, and when they practiced so little, he was the one doing a lot of work for them.
A lot of Mike fans in the room. Kaidus, are you gonna buck the trend?
I went with Stark. He was the best scout by quite a margin, and scouts are basically just the most important class in the game, so it's like pretty easy in that regard. Yeah, like that's pretty much it, really. Like, I don't even like he won the scout award like so easily, so that pretty much tells you how like kind of far ahead of the rest he was. And yeah, like if you have like the scouts are going to have the most impact on the game, so like I don't know, he definitely had like the most impact probably of like an individual player with their performances on the games this season, so it was pretty like simple in that regard.
What do you think of Sideshow's point? He's attesting that any scout, well, any top scout could fill Stark's role within your team. Do you think he's just an interchangeable cog in the Reason machine?
I don't know. I think we're a good team. We've had like several different rosters, and we kind of made all of them work in their own way. With Stark, we kind of had to. I think it took some time for us to kind of get properly in sync with him, because he's not naturally the kind of player I'm most comfortable playing with, because he's often like doing his own thing and just making shit happen, and we kind of have to get in sync with him a bit. But like kind of like once we did that, we were better for it. With a different scout, we'd play a different style, and maybe it would work as well, but it would be a completely different like style of team. Like he's an important enough player that we basically base a lot of our style around him this season. So
he gets bigged up a lot in the casts as like a really intelligent player, a playmaker. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, like he reads the game well, but something probably a lot of people don't really realize is how well he reads individual people. Like, I can't really express it in terms of playing with him this season, but I remember playing demo against him. Like after a while, I kind of got the idea and was able to prevent most of it happening. But he's just such like a sneaky, like so sneaky. Like if he hears you putting up a sticky trap, he'll wait like 1 second till he hears like no more stickies going up, and then just rush through it, because he knows that in that moment you've put your trap up and you're walking away from it to like the position you're going to watch it from. And in that moment, he just rushes through it and kills you. It happens like so many times. And I'm sure there's like similar examples like that for like other classes in different ways he finds to exploit people. Yeah, he's like the only scout really doing that at the moment, like to that level against like the best players in the game, or like the other best players in the game. Like a different level to most other people.
Who are you going to throw your lot in with?
Yeah, I voted for Stark as well. Kind of similar reasons, like especially like when Reason's kind of playing a playstyle where they slow the game down, and sometimes like I think it was against Lego when it was like really close, and then like right towards the end, Stark just came out with like a really important 3K and it just opened up the last. And like just being able to have that consistency throughout the season, as well as those big plays when it really counts and when the team needs it. I don't think anyone else was really on the same level this season.
SonnyBlack, who are you a fan of? Still Mike?
Yep. Also voted for Mike because of the aforementioned reasons.
Are you contracted to vote for Mike because of your previous job as the Suave secretary?
Was Mike in Suave?
Was he not? I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
He was in.
He was?
He was in Made in Germany.
Mike was in Suave the second season. Was he not?
It's a long time ago.
Were they called Not Suave then or something? Where he was.
Was that when they were called Ubersexuals?
Yeah, like Rising left and they got
Oh
Mike.
yeah, Ubersexuals, yeah.
But it was basically like the same team, just a different name.
Forget about it. Move on. Permzilla, who did you vote for? And why?
I voted for Stark. Like, I don't know. I don't watch the cast much. My experience against Mike is actually playing against him, and I don't like. He's quite passive. I don't see much of what he does, and that's probably why I just vote for Stark. The amount of times Stark just gets behind the team and then calls for like you to push in, and it's just synced up, and you just sort of wipe them. Like the amount of times that happens over the season, it's pretty crazy. So yeah.
Something else about Stark that hasn't really been mentioned, like he doesn't off-class much, but he like totally can. Like there was a game we played against Lego. It was the awful shit game where all the unlocks were broken, and because like soldiers had no gunboats and it was Viaduct against a good sniper, like Stark basically had to snipe for 29 minutes. And this isn't something Stark ever does or likes to do, but like I'm looking it up now. Despite like never doing that, he got like a 10k plus like damage game as sniper, which is like pretty good. And it was like nothing he's ever practiced or really done before ever, but like the game called for it, so he did it and he just beasted it. I don't think there's many players in the game that could like just do that on the fly without practicing it before, just because the game needed it.
That's kind of interesting. Like, was it a Nations Cup or something when Stark really kind of first made an impact or like gained notoriety? He was playing with Greg and he had some sick sniper moments.
Yeah, he used to be a ridiculous sniper. Like, he used to just be an absolute god. I don't think he plays it very much anymore, so he's lost a little bit of it, but he's still really good.
Ancient history. But yeah, he is an incredibly talented multi-class. Like, I reckon he could play any class in the game at the highest level. I voted for Stark. I'm a big fan of his intelligent plays, his calls. Even when we listen to the team comms and in the cast and stuff, he always seems to have a hand on the tiller. And also, fuck Mike. That was my main motivation throughout this voting process. So, SonnyBlack, please tell us the results of the Best Player of the Season award.
With 38.2%, Mike came second, and Stark won with 61.8%.
Congratulations. It's so beautiful as well because like these two have a little rivalry going on, you know. Mike once called Stark total cancer.
Genuine depression.
Did he delete it from Steam like the other day?
Yeah,
they'd become friends again, and then after Stark revealed all the details of why TF2 Center decided to bail on DreamHack, I think they deleted him from friends again. So Stark perhaps has the last laugh here. He's going to be winning that Best Player of the Season award. Any reaction?
Served.
Congratulations. Now, another exciting award here featuring a member of the panel. It's going to be the Best Premier Division Debut of the Season. SonnyBlack, the nominees, please.
Nominated. Yeah.
No, go on. I'll bring up the thing afterwards.
Census does not count.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
well, that's what I was going to say as well. Sill's been absolutely robbed at this one because I think he'd be a shoo-in for it, but apparently he doesn't count because he murked Scout for Wonderland like 2 seasons ago. What the fuck?
He played like 3 matches or so.
Yeah, he fucking murked your
last season
team
as well.
on his off class last season.
He played 3 seasons in Prem. He played 3 matches in Prem. So
Man,
That's literally almost half a season. Like, how is that a debut?
I
Like,
don't
he played
know.
like
It's
Rising
not,
half of
like
the
it's
season.
not his team. He's just murking, you know.
Shocky wasn't on Epsilon this season. Is that
Played
the same thing? Or?
He played the entire season with it. They didn't have a regular scout. He wasn't replacing anybody. They had a hole in their roster that they filled.
anyways. Nominated were Ast, Permzilla, Ryder, and Eisen. No fifth.
What were the number of nominations there? Who got the most?
Ast got 54%, Perm got 20%, and Ryder and Eisen got 12%.
That wasn't even in the options at the beginning, though.
Sonny.
Sonny gave us all a list of the eligible people, and Permzilla wasn't even in there.
I found this out when he messaged me, and then I'm like, why am I not on this list?
Perm made it in, though. I corrected my mistake.
I voted for Permzilla because I was impressed with his medic, and especially in the final. He showed a real progression, and he ended up winning in his debut season. Maybe that's a little bit cheap, but I think he deserves the Premiership debut of the season. Permzilla, do you agree with me?
I don't know. It depends. Like, I guess I had a lot of easier time to just come in and do well than us who actually had to like click on things and stuff, and had Sideshow on his team. So I think it's kind of even between where I started and actually mind too much wins.
Who'd you vote for?
Myself again, obviously.
Yes.
I nominated us again.
But vote it for yourself, ruthless. I love it.
I don't understand anyone who wouldn't, But you got to do what I do to win.
SonnyBlack, did you vote for Perm again?
I think I voted for Est.
You want to elaborate on that, Sonny?
I've only seen like 1 or 2 games with I haven't seen a lot of games and in total from the season, but I don't know. Est seemed to perform really well for his first season.
Definitely. CommanderX, your thoughts?
I thought Ast was really good in the season, but I voted for Perm just because, again, like you said, Ads, he won the season on his first season. I don't think many people have done that before. And also Ast, I know it's not his fault, but he didn't play in the finals. So I feel there's like a chapter missing from his first season. So I give it to Perm for my vote.
Kaidus, join the Perm train.
Well, I definitely would have gone for Syl if I had that option, which I think I probably should have. But again, I nominated Ast because I couldn't be asked to resubmit my vote after Perm was left off. But I voted for Perm because I think it's like a debut season, and like I'm judging it on like how the season began, continued, and then finished. And Perm started out fucking dreadful, but by the end, he was like legit good. And in the final, it was like, other than dropping Haffy a few times, which is just funny, he played probably pretty much a perfect game. So I think it's just like, all in all, he was like the best debut. With Ast, like for sure, like a really good scout, but I don't know. I think in his team, he has a role that kind of allows him to shine quite a lot, especially when they're winning. Like, I never really notice him when they're losing. Like when they're losing, he just kind of trots along and survives and leaves, and that kind of happens. Never really notice him kind of standing up to be counted when they're down. Kind of, he gets good logs when they win and plays like a really solid kind of role. But I don't know. I think the fact that Perm played so well in the final was tips it for me. But I would have totally gone with Syl though if I could have.
Dr. Phil, were you miffed that you couldn't vote for Silentes?
Yeah, he did play pretty well Silentes during the entire season. Yeah, what's a shame couldn't nominate him or even vote for him. I think I nominated us, but I ended up voting for Permzilla in the end because I think he did so well during the entire season, and especially in the finals as well.
Sideshow, are you gonna speak up against this Permzilla landslide?
Yeah, I think I think the Premiership debut of the season, right? You could definitely give it to Permzilla if the overall net contribution to his team had been positive, I think. But the only comments I've ever heard, like the only comments I've ever heard, like of negative surrounding reason, like genuine negative, not like troll negative or whatever, have just been like, oh, fucking Permzilla and Captain never call. It's so difficult playing with a combo that doesn't call properly, or like stuff like this. So like whenever I'm hearing about him, it's not like in a positive light. Now I'm sure he did improve towards the end of the season, like obviously he's done that, but when I think and it's also easier for me to see the positives of Ast as well because I'm playing with him, and you get like the insight, like he just sometimes just goes for plays like and just saves a situation as well as being that solid pocket scout. So I voted for Aced, and I hope Permzilla continues his reign of tyranny at the top playing medic and carries on improving. But I wouldn't give him the Premiership debut this season, even though they won. I think he got popped into a backpack that the Kaidus was wearing.
I have a counter argument to that, and its name is Thun from season 17 MIG.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because that is
It
what
certainly
happens. That
wasn't
is what
as bad as
happens
Dune.
when the medic isn't up to it. The medic has to be up to the standard still, even if he has like a good team to play in.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be at a Prem level to be able to play like at the top of Prem.
Same with medic. Like, there's the pressure as well. Like, it's not just about being good at the game. It's like of all the classes, it's the one that has to be able to, like, keep their shit together when it really matters. Whether you're good or bad. Like, I mean, look at Bull in the final. He's a great fucking medic, but that was a shit show. I could easily have been Perm, but it wasn't. And I think it took a lot for someone making, their debut season, debut grand final, and they just played like that. It's enough for me.
Can't take that championship away from him. Or can you, SonnyBlack? Who won the award?
I'm just wondering, Perm, did you look at the results at all?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Ryder got 4th place with 7.2%. Eisen got 3rd place with 11.8%. 2nd place with 34.6%, and Ast wins with 46.5%.
My boy.
Bringing applause.
Bringing home 1 out of 4 for full tilt.
We didn't really discuss the other candidates there, Ryder and Izon, but I actually was impressed by Izon because he was someone who I didn't really expect anything from in this Lego team, but turned out to play a pretty solid season. Probably could say the same for Demul as well, but I mean, I didn't expect much, but they really delivered. But do you have any thoughts for those guys who didn't quite make it? Ryder and Izon?
I was going to say the same as you. I was actually quite impressed by like all the people on that list. Izon, I never really expected it from. I don't know. I didn't really know who he was at the start of the season, but I definitely do now. And even like Ryder, like I didn't really see that much of his team, but he had like at least one game that was pretty incredible. It wasn't like a very consistent season, I don't think, based on my knowledge, but as far as like a list of Prem debutants goes, this was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think Eisen, most people coming into the season had only really heard of him from like previous endeavors around like Div 2, Div 1, and they were almost all negative experiences that people have had with Eisen, but he played really well this season. Yeah, David's just posted in the Mumble channel, Div Eisen. Like it was its own thing that Eisen was bad. Like what, a year ago, maybe a bit longer than that. But he, I had no expectations for Eisen coming into this season, but he actually played really well. Like he was really solid when he needed to be, and he pulled out some big games when it was required of him as well. I think it's a little bit difficult being paired up with Sorex. Sometimes he can just, or it looks like sometimes he just goes off and does his own thing and will leave a lot of the responsibility on Eisen, but he's managed to do that. So I think he's a player as well that's going to continue improving next season if he carries on playing for Lego, and he's going to be like a top scout at some point.
Dr. Phil, you want to spread some love there for Eisen?
I'm really impressed about how he played the season. He was doing really well, Eisen, and no one gave him any credit before the season. They were just like, lol, Eisen, not gonna do anything, but I think he did pretty well on the Pocket Scout, and he was not used to playing Pocket Scout before the season, so he also had to adapt. And he has never played on this high level before, so I think he did really, really well.
Can anyone explain to me what exactly happened to Animate? Because like there were actually 8 teams in the Prem this season. I think I just didn't really cast any of their games or see any of their games, but like a roster that seemed pretty damn decent there. Natural, Nation, Ryder, Walters, and who was their... Nuki was the other scout, right?
It was a hodgepodge. So it was a hodgepodge of different playing styles. Nobody led it. Everyone wanted to play a different way. They were all baiting each other or not going in and like following up on each other. It was a car crash of conflicting play styles. Even though on paper the roster looks all right.
The combo that was so passive, and then the flank that was so aggressive. They didn't follow up on each other at all.
I had to cast somewhere in the middle, getting caught out.
I had to cast them like 3 times, and every time it was just complete AIDS. Like every game they played was just a complete steamroll. Like they just got smashed, or they played dogs or someone, and it was just like an AIDS show all around. And it was just awful to watch. Like there seemed to be no cohesion in any form really.
To be fair to them, it's probably worth pointing out that they shouldn't have come last, and the only reason they did was because TLR like threw or trolled or I don't even remember what happened, but they did something. Like, they would change classes
They changed
or something.
classes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
They got
should, like,
tilted in the PCW beforehand and just decided to change
That
class.
was against us. That was against us, but I don't know why they got tilted.
Either way, they basically threw their game against Dogs and gifted them 7th place. But I think, like, in terms of how the teams played, Animate were, like, not the worst team this season.
There was some kind of weird scenario as well where Fragmented ended up like dropping Nation and Nuki in like the last week of the season.
quit, I think. Nuki, like, I think going into their last game, they weren't sure if they were going to play because Nuki had their official before their last game. Nuki said he quit, and then it was like the day before their final official, and Walters hadn't been online since the last official. They'd just been like offline for 6 days, so they had to get like a bunch of people in. But as I understand it, I think Fragmented, Ryder, and maybe Natural are going to keep Animate going next season.
Okay, I'm glad I now know the full story of Anime. I don't even want to talk about dogs. Let's go to the next award. Oh wow, we're at the end. The best caster of the season, SonnyBlack.
Ooh.
Tell me the nominees, please.
I included everyone that casted 3 or more matches. So Admirable got in with 12, CommanderX with 10, TurboTaps with 8, Sideshow with 7, Hildreth and Max with 5, Ryoshi with 4, and Molesto and Kaidus with 3.
I'm looking at you, Sideshow.
That's just fucking rude. I'm here too.
Okay.
Kaidus.
I didn't really cast enough this deserve it in my opinion. I think other people were really carrying the coverage. I think TurboTabs did a lot of work. CX casted loads. Marvel did some, yeah.
DavidTheWin, I think, streamed like 19 games this season or something insane. But there's no award for streamer of the season. We lament every season. But the casters get the limelight shone on them. I think it was a really competitive field this season. TurboTabs came back from I-55 full of beans, stepping up his casting game. He had previously been a kind of meme in that he always got like 1% or a few percent. But I think this season, TurboTabs could be contesting. I didn't realise Sideshow would cast any games at all this season. But CommanderX, he stepped up. We rocked the final. I voted for... Let me see, actually. I voted for Sideshow after all that. But not really for being the best caster, Sideshow, just for doing everything else, like DreamHack. What was it? Gimmicks, Guts and Glory.
Oh, that was a
Cast
good one.
I-55. I know it's not actually season 22, but then all the Razor Cup stuff, I feel like Sideshow has been pushing the envelope pretty incredibly for EU TF2, the behind the scenes stuff. So that's why I voted for Sideshow, but I'll throw it over to Permzilla. Vote for and why?
I think I voted for you, Admirable, because Sideshow had a poor season, to be honest. Both casting and playing. And yeah, you did a lot of casts, and I like your style, my man.
SonnyBlack?
I think I voted for you as well. I'm always voting for you.
Cheers. Do you want to tell me why I'm so awesome?
I don't know. I just
I'll push him a lot here. Sorry.
I just like your style of casting.
CommanderX.
I voted for myself because I never win, so why not? But yeah, I agree with you, Ads, though. Sideshow probably deserves it for all like the outside casting thing. You know what I mean? Like all the tournaments, everything. Putting all the sort of legwork in. Same with TurboTabs, putting all the legwork in. I just turn up on the day and talk shit for a couple of hours.
Amen, brother. Kaidus.
Yeah, I voted for Admirable, I think. Did I? No. Please hold one moment. Yeah, I did. Sideshow blows in and out of game.
Unbelievable. I'm getting shafted.
Nah, I just like, I don't know, someone said that Sideshow didn't cast that much this season, so I'm like, oh, I'll take their word for it. Didn't vote for him.
This is my campaign of misinformation.
How much did I do? Did I do 7 games?
Mao did like 12, so
Oh yeah.
got to reward the hard work. With a vote is a reward.
Dr. Phil, do you have good taste in casters as well?
Yeah, I voted for Admirable because he's Admirable.
This is a conspiracy. You've invited all the
Sideshow.
people who voted for you.
Sideshow, did you vote at this award?
Yeah, I knew that I would be lacking the votes, so I voted for myself this season instead of my annual vote for Kaidus. So yeah, I had to boost my fucking numbers.
That's like 20% of my vote's gone. Fuck.
We did have some good debuts as well, like Max appeared on the scene. It's a natural. Peter casting loads as well, what a great voice. I'm trying to think. Honey was good actually recently. Poison not so much. Oh my god.
I watched like 10 minutes of that and then just had to leave.
Yeah, Honey Badger was pretty good though. I'd like to see Honey on again. He was alright.
I'm trying to think who else casted. My mind's going blank here.
Perm just
SonnyBlack.
wrote Sheepy in chat.
Oh, Sheepy, yeah. I'm a fan of casting with Sheepy. But
Please don't hate him.
Please donate to the fundraiser.
Go ahead then, Sonny.
Something I just want to mention about the Best Prem debut is that Ast is the first Finnish player to win an award since season 13, when Cookie won Scout of the Season.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Damn.
Forgot to mention that.
Representing Finland.
Way to go, AMS.
Yeah.
TF2 history, like Finland used to be the dominant nation. They won everything. Well, maybe them and Sweden, but that's an interesting stat.
If you look at the award history, like way at the end, you still see some Finns lurking around with like 3 and 2 awards, like Himsy and Cookie and I don't know. But way up, there's no one. Okay. How many are there? 9. 9th place with 1.2%. It's not Turbo Taps, it's Ryoshi. 8th place with 2.3% is still not Turbo Taps, it's Molesto.
TurboTabs is stepping up.
7th place with 2.7% is still not Turbo Taps, it's Hildreth.
The guy's fucking tripled or quadrupled his fan base.
Leaving corpses in his wake.
It's a 3K so far.
Finally, 6th place with 3.7% is Turbo Taps, which is his best result so far, I think.
Pretty good.
What's that? 5th place with 6.3% is CommanderX.
Solid.
6.3.
Yep. 4th place with 7.2% is Max. 3rd place with 8.8% is Kaidus.
Top 3, baby. Woo.
With 29.1%, 2nd place goes to Admirable, and Sideshow wins with 38.8%.
It's just too easy, Admirable. It's too easy.
Sideshow, you'll have a host. It's your reward for winning.
I'm just gonna bathe in this for a little longer. Don't have to do any work. I can live off the reputation. Yeah, it's a popularity contest. That's how I'm treating it. You've been robbed, old man. You've been robbed.
Go on, mate.
Help! Admirable has fallen and he can't get up.
I said actually when I was watching your stream yesterday, Sideshow, that if I didn't win this award, I was gonna quit. So consider this my resignation. Go fuck yourself.
Look what you've done, TF2 community. Look what you've done.
Driven me to the edge.
I've never seen so many Sideshow champs.
Oh my god,
I
Jeff.
wanna join this.
Ah,
Congratulations, Sideshow. You got any words for your fans?
no words for what I'm seeing in the chat right now. Oh yeah, why are you sat down? I've just realised. What happened to your standing desk?
Because you just sat him down, Sideshow.
Right. Back at the start of August, I hurt my leg. My leg was like got bitten by a fucking
Crocodile.
horsefly.
Oh,
And, like,
horsefly,
one of my legs
right.
was swollen up to twice the size of the other. So it was kind of painful. I took away the standing desk base and I put it in the room next door. Then a few months, or like I suppose about 6 weeks later, I go back to the standing desk. And my dad had turned it into a table in the little base and like reappropriated it for something else. So I'm back to the seat for now anyway. But I would like to return to the standing desk. But Sideshow, speech please.
I have no speech prepared. Just if you're interested in casting, do get into it because we've got loads of upcoming talent and they've been really good this season so far. Max, I think, has been very good. I'd like to see more from him. And if you're interested in casting, TF2V EU will always let you, even if your name is Lulu or Torrit.
Yeah, definitely. We are, of course, always looking for more staff. In particular, I think streamers as well. Something we're kind of showing, like the fact that David cast nearly 20 games maybe says something about that. But he carried it through. 21, he says, sorry, 21. He's spamming us in Mumble. But that helped us complete our 100% Premiership coverage for the year. 3 seasons of Six's action, every single Prem game covered. Pat on the back there. But we do always need more staff. I think we need a writer as well because the Supreme Commander is doing like a sick job of the North American coverage and really putting us EU nerds to shame. So if you've even got an interest in writing articles that people will read, not like the stuff on ETF2L.org, come to teamfortress.tv and we will give you a platform. But yeah, more streamers, more casters, more writers, get involved. That is the end of the awards. We did mention earlier that Permzilla has decided to stand down as ETF2L head admin. I'm going to touch on that again, Permzilla. Why?
I just don't have the motivation anymore. I'm a bit burnt out, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much the main reason. I've been like that for a while. It's just come to a point where I've been dealing with it for a few months, and it's come to a point where I just can't deal with it anymore, and I just have to leave, I guess.
Has your passion for administration dwindled?
Passion for my hobby is gone now. It's burnt out.
Were you feeling trapped? Like you were, the community was relying on you? Was this a tough decision for you to make, or were you just like, yeah, fuck those nerds?
The problem is a lot of people seem to put my name in front of everything to do with it, while Sonny just sort of sits at the back, and no one, people sort of forget that he's even around. Like, he's Permzilla that, Permzilla this, Permzilla everything. And when you don't want to do everything, that's sort of hard. Like everything, you get the blame for everything, and everything goes wrong. It's your fault, even if you don't want to do anything. You know what I mean? So
just like in Reason.
Yeah, just like in Reason.
Do you really take that stuff seriously though? You don't need like a thick skin to...
No, I don't mean that like caused me to quit or whatever. I just mean that people rely on you, and I feel like I can't deliver. So I don't want to have the passion and the motivation. So that's when I sort of decided probably best just for me to leave, I guess.
Permzilla, what hobbies will you be taking part in now that TF2 is dead and ETF2L you don't have? Are you taking up lawn mowing? Because that appears to be what your girlfriend's dad is doing in the background.
I'm actually going to open up an aquarium.
An aquarium?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Isn't that what my mic sounds like?
What, sorry?
Isn't that what my mic sounds like? Someone said that earlier.
An aquarium?
Yeah.
Maybe in an aquarium where I don't fucking know. I can't think of any aquarium that would sound like that.
With a jet ski on it?
I can't hear it, so I'm relying on other people.
An aquarium where they're drilling into the bottom.
Why didn't you say print shop? That would have been at least like a 6 out of 10 joke.
I can't hear it. I don't know what it sounds like.
Sounds like a robotic man trying to get a message across whilst the background goes.
Yeah, this isn't really the heartfelt farewell I had in mind. It's tough to make you out. So what does this mean for the future of ETF2L then? SonnyBlack, you're back in charge?
I've always been in charge.
But your situation currently, you're in Canada, right?
Yeah.
How has that affected your availability, I guess, for the ETF2L duties and stuff?
Well, I've been around less for like stuff like C requests and stuff, but I haven't done that in a while, like for quite a while before I went to Canada already. So I've just been around less. Like I could only be around at European times during the downtime between lectures. I try to do that and just see what's going on in the forum and like just rely on people messaging me if something came up, if something that was like that needed the final decision or something.
What is the state of the ETF2L stuff then? I just see increasing numbers of Highlander admins and dwindling number of Sixes admins. How long is it before that Highlander is the #1 game mode in TF2?
I think the numbers for Highlander have went down already, so I'm not concerned.
Not because Highlander's less popular, because you're bleeding people to UGC, because you're not taking it as seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
How are we not taking it seriously? Like I think we have more news coverage because John is, although maybe not necessarily more, but John is keeping up with the news coverage.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Get these fuckers out my league. Get them out. Let them play in UGC.
That's what ETF2L is going to
ESEA
turn into,
style.
man. ETF2L is just going to become a joke like UGC. It'll just be Highlander.
Asia Fortress, Oz Fortress. None of these Sixes leagues have Highlander attached to them. You're trying to cater to both. I mean, Beep needs to go back to UGC.
As long as there's enough teams, I guess we will keep Highlander around.
Are you going to appeal for some new staff then, Permzilla? Do you need more Sixes admins? Or am I just imagining this?
You talk.
Or, sorry, SonnyBlack?
I can give you an answer if you want.
Yeah, tell me. What's your thoughts, Permzilla?
Well, the admins were merged just before I left. So like, there's no difference between Sixes and Highlander admins now. Everyone's just a league admin. So everyone's expected to work on like both, I guess. Like people obviously have their preferences and will do more for one format, but people are expected to work on both, which will hopefully help in terms of staff in the future, because it always happened that we always low on Sixes. I don't actually know why. Like Sixes admins are always quite rare. I don't really know why that is, but apparently people just care more about Highlander.
Do you feel like is there some truth in what I'm saying, that Highlander have been subverting the league to their nefarious ends? Like they had all the Deutschland news posts I complained about. Like where was our Sixes LAN? Where was even some posts about like I-55? Did we get one in the end up?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, we have news writers that are there, and they choose to opt on, I guess. Like, I think if I was more motivated, I would do something like that, but yeah, it did happen.
So SonnyBlack, you're back at the helm. What changes can we expect to see for season 23, or is it just going to be business as usual, least effort possible? More maps,
like I don't. Like every time we try and get more maps in, people complain. Every time we like, although people kind of went away from this. Oh, we only want to play Badlands. But I think unless a really good map comes up, the map pool seems pretty refined. Like people seem to be fairly content with how the map pool is right now.
What about just change for the change's sake? Like in the ACA, do they always just to bring in a new map every season, or am I making that up?
They have a vote,
Yeah.
and one of the options is the map pool is fine, keep it as it is.
Right.
But have to pay, obviously, you have to have like a premium account or something to vote, so it's not like anyone can.
Yeah, most people don't actually have, like, most people don't pay for premium in the off season when they actually run the vote anyway, so it's not like it's even representative. I don't think the ESEA one is weird. It's a really weird system they have. It's not the best. What's that, Perm?
Some medals all your medals that belong to me. I ran away with them.
Perm has all the medals, so can't do anything about the medals.
Sideshow, I'd like to give you a little bit of a soapbox here. Like, what would you do if you were in charge of Europe's biggest league? I see you, trying to bring in changes, gravel pit, a thread about unlocks there on teamfortress.tv.
Yeah, I think
up.
I think ETF2L is going the right route with unlocks. There's still a few more that they could open up next season. I think they absolutely should. They should be making that move. I mean, they've got the biggest things now are not even to even bother fucking with the map pool or anything like that. You just have to be prepared to adapt to what matchmaking is going to be like, because that's going to be released like within the next few months, in all likelihood, I think. So if you're making changes now, or not making changes and not preparing to maybe change a bit of infrastructure or change the way that the rules of your league are going to be in preparation for matchmaking coming out, then you're missing a trick, I think. But one of the biggest problems with it all, but I don't think there really is a solution to it, is the matchmaking is going to have a load more people actually playing like this kind of more competitive version of the game, but the actual gap between playing within the game client and playing in a league is still going to be as big. Not as big as it ever was, but it's still going to be a really big gap to bridge. And every single league website in TF2 is garbage to use. The ease of use and accessibility on every league website, honestly, every single one is so bad. Just because they've all been made by volunteers, like they haven't been made by professionals right at the beginning, and they're just really difficult to use. I still after 5 years in the scene and trying to use every single league website, still don't understand how to use Oz Fortress. I don't have a fucking clue. Like, I go on there every now and then and I try and look something up, and it's a fucking mystery to me. But ETF2L is still pretty difficult to use, even though it's probably one of the better ones, along with ESEA. But I think that's going to be a gigantic hindrance. And when you're saying ESEA is one of the easiest websites to access in the scene, some shit has gone wrong, because that website is stupid as well.
ESEA at least has the fucking name behind it, so a lot of people have heard of it before.
Yeah, nobody coming into the competitive scene just from matchmaking is going to have heard of ETF2L. Like, they're going to Google it maybe if they're interested in the league, but I think there's a gigantic amount of PR work that needs to be done, and there's absolutely nobody to head it up at the moment. But,
hey, SonnyBlack, what's happening with that ETF2L redesign?
That's a good question.
Didn't you or whatever? No, Cherry's just built on TF2.
Yeah, Cherry started it and never really finished it, so it's just still in this.
It didn't fix anything anyway, man. You should just give up with that, honestly. Like, it was just like putting some dressing on the site that already existed. Like, it didn't fix any of the problems. It just arguably looked slightly better. And even that was pretty debatable.
In the end, it was only visual.
Peace out, Permzilla, thanks. Goodbye, stream, he says on Twitch chat. What pisses you off about ETF2L, Kaidus? You got something black here, he's all ears.
What pisses me off about ETF2L?
What would you like to see changed?
I would like to see prizes announced and occasionally paid out. That would be my first request. And failing that, at least some kind of communication as to what the fuck is going on with that shit, because for the past 2 seasons, the season homepage has said under prizes TBA, and when you contact an admin about it, they say yes, there are prizes. But here we are, approximately 9 months later, still waiting for that prize, gang. Any day now is just gravy.
It's not always easy to get prize money for the season, so sometimes we are still negotiating during the season. Also, not sure if I should blame that onto Perm, but when we had the season 20 fundraiser, we added €1,000, and those at the time we I think Perm announced it, and at the time we didn't even have those €1,000. So that's why we are kind of lagging behind, but I think with the next money coming from our TT deal, we should have so far that we can pay out everything. Like, right now we have quite of money. It's mainly me who hasn't been able to pay some of it out yet, but I got my family to send, because I need some electronic verification device to send money from Canada to European accounts, because they have a different system. They don't have a SEPA system. Not sure if you know, if you like with the IBAN and BICS. I don't know. So that should arrive soon, and then I can pay out the season. What is that? It's 21 and Highlander season 8 money.
Yeah, like from my perspective, I don't really mind it taking ages. It's like not a big deal. Like even in like real esports, it can take a while. So in like amateur, like TF2, TF2L esports, no gripe at all about taking ages. But it will be. I think a lot of people would appreciate maybe a bit more transparency on what's going on, because like when you like all the only information you can get is yes, there are prizes. It's kind of a bit weird. Like it would just be cool to kind of know like what they are, even if it takes like 6 months or whatever. It would just be like, I don't know. I think it'd be a good idea just to like get the information out there a bit more, and then after the season say, you've won this, but you know, it's going to be a while. Because I don't think anyone minds waiting. It's just for me, it was just a bit weird because I couldn't get any information on it for a long time.
I think this season I just forgot to update the hub page. I'm not sure if it was in a news post or not, but I'm not sure if it is on the hub page right now even.
It's definitely not. I checked the other day because people were wondering. So what is it out of interest? What did Hafiko win?
We managed to get 1,000 euros from Saloon TF again. So it's going to be the usual spread of 500. Oh no, it's $1,000. So we will most likely make up the difference to 1,000 euros, which shouldn't be too much. So it's going to be like 500, 300, 200 again.
Maybe.
CommanderX, what do ETF2L need to do to get ready for matchmaking?
I don't know, just be ready to capitalize on it. Do you know what I mean? Like have everyone ready. Maybe have just more admins just in and around. Like maybe not just like the IRC, you know, the admin request thing, but maybe something a bit more accessible to new players. Like if you don't have questions about like complicated things, just want like a bit of guidance with the site and that, just make it as easy as possible for all the new people to get into it, because if it's too difficult and they're just like trying it out for a bit of fun and then the site proves really difficult, they're just going to fuck it off. So if there are people there or an easy way to get on board.
Yeah, I think
we have a guide for that.
Something I'm planning to do, although I don't expect it to be hosted on ETF2L, is making a video guide of all the different shit on ETF2L, like how to find a player, how to find a team, how to sign up, stuff like that. See if I can get it hosted on playcomp.tf or something. So that
you can have it on ETF2L if it's about ETF2L.
I don't trust. It's not going to be in a prominent place though. That's the thing. Like it's not going to be in a place.
It's going to be on the front page.
Yeah, but it's going to be on the front page for like 2 minutes before I get swamped by Deutschland #2 or something. Those things, you don't have a splash page, right, on ETF2L. It's not like a new user arrives who isn't logged in and they get like given a splash page like on a commercial league where it says like, whoa, sign up, like there's a big button here, it says sign up, and then these are the reasons why, and you know, like ESEA has these fucking checklists, Faceit has all these adverts and shit. Like if you wanted to go down that approach, then I think that would be fantastic, but it requires a lot of work, and like obviously you guys don't have very many volunteers and don't have staff that would easily be able to produce that kind of content, but it needs to be somewhere where it's like super easily accessible, and unless ETF2L had like a splash page or somewhere where it was like always prominent, then it would just be useless to have it hosted on ETF2L in like some hidden corner, like where you have to go to like help and then video guides or something. Nobody's going to do that. Like if they just arrive on a website and it's not instantly clear, unless they're motivated to do it, they're just going to disappear.
Dr. Phil, I got a question. Do you think that the competitive community should adopt whatever rule set Valve comes up with for matchmaking? Like, would you be prepared to just jump ship, complete faith in Valve, that we should like mimic their you know, rule set or format? I know it's a total hyperbole here, but would you be prepared to trust Valve to lead the competitive community in the future?
Bit iffy about that because I have no idea what they're actually gonna bring to the table. Like, well,
no whitelists, no class limits.
No, I'm not prepared to do that. We could see fucking 2 women again and just on hold.
I think there's no way of avoiding it though in terms of the growth of TF2. Like if if
You have to
if the
adapt
leagues,
to them. Like,
if the leagues
kept it all
decide to
around.
run their own thing, even if it turns out to be better, even if the Valve one is shit, and ours is still really fun to watch and play, ours is going to be like a tenth of the people playing it, and everyone
die out
else, when they think
slowly.
of competitive TF2, is going to be thinking of the fucking matchmaking in the game. So there's only a limit on like so long holding your own and sticking it. Like, we want to play this version of 6v6, it's going to last. It's literally got a time limit on it. But you can still modify some things for the league play.
I think
Like, you can still
keep the
modify
class
whitelist.
limits.
I don't think you can. I think
I
that's
think
the
you
one
can
thing
keep
you
the
can't.
class limits but lose for whitelist, like go the
What?
other way.
No, I think you have
Really?
to do it the other way around. Like, because
Yeah, but then we're playing with 2 demo men because that would be the
Yeah,
default
exactly.
all of a
yeah,
sudden.
but
Yeah.
you have to do it like that, because if somebody's coming from matchmaking and the best strat is to run 2 demo men, then they're going to be expecting to see that at the top level, or expecting to be able to go into a league where they can run that kind of meta. Whereas if it's just a weapon that's banned, that it's never going to be like a decisive part of the meta to run the cow mangler. Well, the cow mangler is still allowed. I can't even think. The base jumper or something, like, it's never going to be a decisive part of the meta. Like, you literally have to run the base jumper in order to win. But it could well be with class limits that you have to run 2 demos to win. And for that not to be emulated in actual league competitive play makes as big of a divide as if you're playing pretty much a completely different mode.
SonnyBlack, have you got any plans in mind for the matchmaking apocalypse? Just gonna wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like, for example, for class limits, I can see Sideshow's point being true, that they would come to the league and expect to be able to do the same thing they're doing in matchmaking. Time it would like change sixes completely as we know it right now. So, for example, I think it's easier to change maps or unlocks. Also would expect like a really good within a certain unlock, and there's no or there's all unlocks allowed in matchmaking, and they come to the league and the unlock they're playing with in matchmaking isn't allowed in the league. But I think like it's easier to, if we have to allow all unlocks, or then to completely change the class limit. For maps also, like I haven't really followed it a lot, but some people told me that Valve plans to like have Well back in, and like other maps we haven't played in very long time.
But
So-
for that, I mean, that's like this CSGO thing, isn't it? Like, you can play any map in CSGO matchmaking if you want to, but everyone looks to the leagues to see what they play, and everyone just emulates that. So in terms of maps, you can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's easier to change maps and potentially even have no whitelist, or like only really ban very few things. But when it comes to class limits, I'm not really sure.
The other thing that Whitehoofs just sent to me actually is this command that they added to the game, which is the TF tournament class change ready allowed, which if you set it to 0, doesn't let you change class after you ready up, which is something that they've literally added, presumably for matchmaking, because it's not implemented in anything else. And that boggles my mind how stupid that would be if they added that into matchmaking, because it
No
would
more off-classer.
Exactly, you would never be able to off-class. You would never see a spy, never see an NG, never see a pyro, never see a heavy, and never see a sniper, because if you chose those classes, you were locked in for the full fucking 30 minutes.
You're gonna lose.
Exactly, you're just gonna lose. Like, so you're never gonna see an off-class on last. You're never gonna see a clutch spy or sniper play. I think if they added that in, it would be just god awful. They'd be shooting themselves in the foot so hard.
Surely it's harder to learn as well, because if you add up as Pyro thinking that's going to be fine, and then it turns out you're just getting rocked as Pyro, so when you think, I'll swap class and try and be more effective as something else. Oh no, wait, I can't do that for another 20 minutes. Okay, guess I'll grind out some Pyro matchmaking.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that could potentially be seen is sniper, because you can run a permanent sniper.
Yeah, but new people going in aren't going to, you know what I mean? They're just going to play what they think they want to play.
Whatever they want to play, and it's just going to be garbage, and they can't even change and adapt during the game. Yeah, David's saying it might just be for Highlander or something, but then why not just use
Class
Yeah.
limits.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I guess
maybe
it stops
we're
people
just...
stealing classes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just really hope they don't implement that in sixes. Maybe we're just getting scared about absolutely nothing. But God, I hope they just don't remove. Like, it would be such a fucking weird turn of of opinion as well. They're going into it like 2 years ago. They were like, "Oh, Sixes is so stale. Only 4 of the classes get played." And then to implement matchmaking, where it's like, "You have to play these 4 classes, otherwise you're fucking dead." Like, that would be such a swing.
I don't know. I know it's an interesting topic, but a few other things to talk about on the agenda at least. Sideshow, please tell us the full story of DreamHack winner TF2's 2015 Invitational.
Yeah, it was fun. We went there. We met a lot of people. We developed a few new sponsor relationships, I think, for TF2. So a few more companies are kind of interested. The kind of organization that was helping us get there and who put money into buying the booth and getting the PCs and the space in the actual exhibition tournament now wants to do 2 a year. So DreamHack Summer and DreamHack Winter for the foreseeable future, which I think is very interesting if teams are willing. In a bigger place, like they'd be willing to invest more money in it so that we have a bigger area, or maybe just a slightly bigger area and funnel the rest into the prize pool. I'm not really sure how that would work. So yeah, I think in terms of, I mean, the production was difficult to say the least. I mean, we arrived and the PCs we thought we would be using, they had given to Star Citizen or something, and then they were still missing a PC that they said they had. Oh, and then TT, God bless TT, who loaned us a PC, which was the worst PC I have ever used in my entire life. It wouldn't even boot. It was cooled by milk. The fucking thing was awful. Like, it was so choppy. It was a disaster. So, I mean, it was a real hodgepodge production. But in terms of what the actual purpose of the event was, it worked pretty well.
So, overall, a success. What grand schemes are you cooking up? What are the next lands you've got in your mind? I've heard mentions of French lands.
Yeah, Gamers Assembly is the next one. That's kind of, it looks interesting. They have a prize pool already provided by outside sponsors, which is kind of one of the biggest problems in TF2 is actually getting cash. Like, you can occasionally get hardware sponsors and stuff like that, but cash prize pools and stuff is pretty much the most difficult thing. And the fact that GA already has like I think last year it was €4,200 cash prize pool, which is pretty reasonable. And I mean, that could always be augmented by other sponsors if we found any. I think the biggest problem for Gamers Assembly is it's over Easter, so some people are doing shit with like with family
Jesus.
or whatever. Yeah, with Jesus, going to church, like cooking eggs and eating mass and bread and wine, whatever the fuck people do. And the other problem is that it's bring your own computer, so it makes it a lot more difficult for these top teams to fly over. Like, Happy Cool flying over from fucking Iceland or something is gonna have to bring a PC out of somewhere if he wanted to compete. So finding
I got a PC for you, Happy.
Yeah, finding a PC sponsor would be, or rentals or something would be challenge at the moment, because otherwise Games Assembly looks really cool. Like, we've never really tried going there. I think BK tried last year or something, and it never amounted to anything. It's always just been a French LAN, very exclusive, but it'd be nice to blast it wide open and just have it as like a really top level European LAN.
It's their last one as well, isn't it? On that French TF2 circuit. It's the end, isn't it?
Yeah, which is really unfortunate that we're only even starting to consider the possibility when they're already dead, but I think it died with the loss of TF2 Connexion. Maybe if this was a success and we were interested in doing it like next year or something, I don't know. Because I don't even know whether the event is... I assume the event isn't dying. I assume it's just the TF2 portion that they drop in. I don't even know really the specifics.
I asked Nico in Twitch chat yesterday, was he going to attend? He just said no, flat out.
Rest. No Overwatch tournament for Melty to melt at.
But just back to DreamHack a little bit. I guess in the context of attending future lands, it's alright for the top team who's going to win. You got Kaidus there, but Dr. Phil, you went to DreamHack and you got smashed. Yeah. Would you attend another international LAN?
I would. It was pretty fun. Also nice to meet all the TF2 players again. And we had a lot of fun in the houses as well afterwards.
How did it work out for you guys? Like, if you're prepared to, reveal, like, in terms of your financials with the fundraiser and the prize money, did you make a loss or did you manage to break even?
A small loss, I would say. Not that much, but still have to pay up a little bit. But I guess it's okay.
You guys owe me fat dollar. Please do not forget.
Whoa, I fucking won you that tournament yesterday, so you owe me money from that?
Yeah, I personally owe you money, but the rest of my team owes the rest of your team owes me money.
Yeah, but that might actually add up from a fundraiser, so.
Yeah, most of it is covered by the fundraiser.
Kaidus, can I expect to see Reason attending any Wits lands that pop up?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we haven't really talked about what we're gonna do since we're a DreamHack, but I think we're still gonna play, as far as I know, and we have a pretty good chance of winning any events that come up. So we're probably in a better position than most, because like we can. Our chances are we can probably go and expect to come at least like top 2 or something. So pay for itself like that way. It's like normally kind of how it is in TF2. Only like the top 1 or maybe 2 teams can like make the money back from it. Since finances is normally the biggest hurdle, we'd probably be fine to go. I had like I think he was drunk, but Happy messaged me saying let's go Gamers Assembly. But yeah, if it's happening, we'll probably go. Like, I mean, I don't know. If other teams go, even without like a PC sponsor, we could probably make it happen. Like we got 3 UK players. It's pretty easy to drive to France from there. I have a spare PC or 2. Like we'd probably need to borrow like maybe 1 PC.
We were thinking of just like, since there's a vast amount of UK people at the top of the scene at the moment, we were just thinking of just renting some cars and just fucking driving in like a posse down through the tunnel, exactly, in a convoy with like, I don't know, Ownage Squad said that they were kind of interested in entertaining the idea of turning up.
Oh, didn't the French all rent a bus to go to an iSeries? Couldn't we do something like that?
I think that was the Germans, wasn't it?
No. Don't be a French bus with like them fucking singing and like hanging out with the fucking exhaust. Not the exhaust.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like that video on like YouTube. We could just do that.
We could. I've actually looked into it, but I think the only person that I know who would be able to rent a minibus of that size would be Turbo Monkey, and he's getting cut from Ownage Squad. So
why? What would it?
What about
require?
Bones?
Bones can, surely.
I don't understand. What does it require to rent like a?
You need to be over the age of 23, and you also need to have had your license for a certain amount of time. And if you want one that's over 15 people, then you also need like an extra thing on your license.
Well, other than the extra thing, I have all that.
Can't you just rent 2 cars rather than?
Well, you can take us then.
Yeah, I can't be able to drive, but in theory,
We'd have to stop every hour.
For every hour of driving, there'll be half an hour of wrist rest breaks.
We'll have to set off 2 weeks before. Yeah. Set up at Christmas, get there by Easter.
We'll just walk.
I mean, it took you the DreamHack winter from us realizing that it was actually a possibility, Sideshow, to it happening. You were able to whip up all that stuff in the space of about a month, right?
About 2 months, I think.
With Gamers Assembly being still some time away, it could be quite the event.
Yeah, it's fairly promising if it's happening. I mean, it's all just literally 2 conversations or something at the moment. We've just got this idea, and none of it's formalized. I think they don't even know the event, the dates of the event for sure yet. But Ombrack and the guys from Top 5 have some hand in organising it, so they'll keep us updated. But yeah, hopefully. I mean, the idea is that the further in advance you're able to know that you're going to an event, the more time you have to book, the cheaper everything is, the better prepared it all is. Yeah.
And it's like the whole DreamHack experience encouraged you to do more then, or they giving you some
it was the worst LAN
caution?
I've ever been to. It was the least fun LAN I've ever attended. I spent I was stood up doing shit from 8 in the morning until 9 or 10 at night, and then I would just go back to the nice house and everyone would be drinking and I'd be sat there falling asleep in my chair.
Oh, you didn't attend the drinking?
No, I couldn't join in the drinking. I was just fucking knackered. Like I'd sit there and I'd be like dropping off as I was there, and it was
didn't
stressful.
get to see drunk Happy.
No, I didn't get to see Amps vomit in the staircase.
Yeah, because you didn't let him in.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm interested in having a hand. I mean, just took too much of my plate that time.
Let's go off on a kind of tangent here, messaging to say about the Razer Arena being an open platform. What I was trying to say is that anyone can start a tournament on the Razer Arena, and he goes on to say, float the possibility of the league moving over to Razer Arena and receiving a guaranteed prize pool provided for the year. What about that, SonnyBlack? Just sidestep all the problems with ETF2L's website being old and dilapidated, and just run the league through the Razer Arena.
Don't think that is a possibility right now. Like, they don't even have like regular round robin leagues.
They have
I think they mentioned that they might have double elimination and like Swiss system at some point.
I think they've got them implemented already. They've got them up and running, Swiss system and double elim. Yeah, I mean, there's still problems with it. There's still a few reasons why you wouldn't want to move it over wholesale, but it's a great system to move forward.
It's kind of like, or in terms of the websites at least, they're at opposite ends of the spectrum. The ETF2L one's like old and nasty to use, but the Razer one is like kind of pointlessly flashy at times. It chugs along. You've got confetti there stealing all your FPS, Sideshow.
It does. It steals all of my FPS.
Would
It's also kind of
Razer as the league be better?
It's also kind of restrictive at times, where we are more lenient. For example, I think if you're late 15 minutes and the other team is fine with it, we won't give the other team a default win by default. And in the Razer Cup, if you're late 15 minutes, you just lose, regardless of if the other team is fine with it or not.
I think that would be better in the long run once people got a few defaults. But yeah, that's an interesting one. But knows, I could see that happening. Hello. Just keep me away from the controls. I don't want to delete Saints again from the league and not being able to add them to the system.
Every time we try and have more restrictive rules to make the whole thing more professional, because everyone's always here, it needs to be more professional, but as soon as there's rules implemented, or as soon as we act on the rules we implemented, everyone's like, oh yeah, we could have done this and that, and suddenly no one wants the rules anymore. For example, I think there's still no status screenshot for full tilt versus TF2 center, which will result in them.
We have taken our pay cut. We can't find the fucking status screenshot. It doesn't exist. So
make a fake one.
We can't make a fake one.
What do you mean? Yes, you can.
Numlock's never going to launch TF2 again.
Oh, is it Numlock?
Yeah. It's their team. Like, if it was any other team, it would have been faked fucking months ago.
But, rest in peace.
But yeah,
can't you just go and get one like of like an EPSI screenshot, copy and paste like the Numlock bit onto another one?
Probably wouldn't want to tell the head admin.
Oh yeah, but it's too late now. I mean, like,
wouldn't do that.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of other people doing this in the past.
It's like €20 or something, 10% of the prize pot that we won. It's
alright.
Not worth the effort, frankly. If someone paid me €20 to fake a status screenshot, I'd tell them they needed to up their price.
we found people before who faked screenshots and they got banned, I think. So.
I would never even consider it.
I would never even consider doing that.
Don't fuck with SonnyBlack. On the subject of the Razer Arena, then, obviously, we had a kind of weird debut of the monthly mayhem in Europe, at least. It seemed like it was pretty successful in North America, but apart from me deleting dates from the system, there was also per signups for Europe. We discussed this in a previous episode as to whether it was like per promotion or whatever, but the final happened only yesterday. Kaidus versus Sideshow. Sideshow down. Oh
no.
Were you not on the other team?
No, Kaidus was supposed to be playing for us.
I was on the M25 while it happened.
I got caught in some traffic. It was Stark, Haffy, and Captain on the other team. It was like
Stark was demo man. That's right.
Yeah, it was half of Reason, and the other half was like Serpents, but they also had Bull on Medic. It was like supposed to be the Serpents roster, but it ended up just being kind of half of Reason plus some other random players.
Dark player of the season, but when there's no Kaidus, what happens?
Why did it happen then that Serpents couldn't field the team? Because the players I thought that wouldn't show up were Shadowburn and Forsaken, but they were both there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought
the
they'd be
team's
off playing Overwatch.
the team is folded. Like the problem with this particular iteration of Monthly Madness is that it's over the month where literally 2015 has ended in terms of TF2. You know, like halfway through the Monthly Madness tournament, if you're a team who has played in 2015 and you don't want to continue, you fold. And so that was like week 4 of this tournament or something. You had all these teams folding and they aren't going to play ever again. Serpents was one of them. They've folded as far as I know. They're not going to be playing next season, so there was no reason for them to be playing during the month of November. They weren't in the playoffs. They stopped playing like on the 12th or something, so for them to then play a final 25 days later or something is I mean, the only reason they did is because they were practically shoo-ins for the final and had a decent chance of an upset.
Do you think a 1 day or a 1 week cup type thing would be a better format? Is it just too long?
No, this is perfectly fine. It's just a bad month for it. Like if you had this running last month, if you had an October Cup, it would run at the same time as the season. People would play their matches. It would end in a playoff final. It'd be watch. It's
Just going to be one in
Christmas.
December, right?
Yeah, I think so. But
So is that going to be better
it's
or
going to be
worse?
very. It's going to be a lot worse because people just don't play during December. I mean,
When
maybe
is it?
they'll
No
postpone
one even
it.
knows that it's happening.
Yeah, it might not be happening. Like they
That's
might
the
just
first I'm
postpone it.
hearing of it.
Tylus have said
It's a
yesterday in
monthly
Slack.
thing, so it's supposed to just be happening every month.
Okay,
Like,
but
But I don't know. It's not there at the moment. It's a
As,
Razer Arena thing. It's not on us.
well, yeah, well,
But I mean, we don't know anything about it. That's what I mean. Like, we can't publicize it because I don't even know whether it's happening. The only way I
okay.
would know whether it's happening is if I went and contacted the Razer guy, same as anybody else, which we will do. But
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
this is what it takes in TF2. You kind of have to, even for like things that shouldn't be a problem, like getting people to play TF2. It's
To
kind
go
of like
fucking door to door and ask people to sign up for this.
Can I have a moment of your time to talk to you about TF2 today?
We were talking about this at DreamHack actually, and I can't remember who it was. I think it may have been Amps who said it's an absolute fuckfest when people are spending the majority of their free time playing a competitive game and yet don't want to play it competitively. All they will do is play friendly games against other teams. Like, that is all they will do. They will not sign up to a tournament unless they have a chance at winning. And when he put it like that, it's blowing my mind. Because what's the fucking point of creating a team and making it and wanting to compete if when there's an opportunity to compete, you don't even fucking take the opportunity? Like, you're not even trying to get into the round of 8 or trying to get into the semi-finals or something. Like, those should be the achievements, the way that you mark your team and say, like, we're improving, we're doing well. Like, they just don't want to. They just want to play fucking scrims. It's blowing my mind. It's like, I don't even know. It's like having a fucking football team that you created and you got 11 players and you're like, we're really going to try hard, we're really going to try and be the best. And then there's a football tournament, like, no, I want to kick about at the park. It doesn't make any sense, man.
It's not a
Isn't
new
it just
thing,
because
though.
people want even games? Isn't that most teams' logic?
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
like
Yeah.
some
People don't
mid-team
wanna
doesn't want to
compete.
open and play full tilt because, as far as they're concerned, that's a waste of their time. They're not
Yeah.
going to learn much getting rolled 5-0 in 10 minutes when they could play a team of equal standing.
Yeah,
Get
and improve.
some more valuable practice.
Yeah, and get some more valuable practice to what end?
For the league season, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, people should be trying to rank themselves against other teams in tournaments. It should be an achievement for teams to get through like a first round against a challenging opponent or something, or,
would also-
or try and make an upset in one of these cups, one of these tournaments.
It would even itself out, like if everyone entered as well, or if more people entered, and you weren't it wasn't just 5 Prem teams, 2 high teams, and 1 mid team.
It was
You see-
Koss who was saying this, not Amps. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was saying, you know, TF2 is dead when tournaments are like an abstract concept for TF2 players. Like they can't wrap their heads around tournaments when in any other competitive esport they're just a staple. They just happen all the time. But in TF2, because we haven't had them for so long, people just don't understand, like, why should I be playing this? Like, what's in it for me?
Yeah. It's kind of a vicious cycle that people won't sign up though because they think they're going to get old.
But if more
And they
people
may be
sign
older.
up, it will balance it
Yeah.
out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the moment, the only teams signing up are the top teams because they think they can win. But if a dozen mid-teams sign up to like the 32-team tournament, then they
Yeah.
will get some decent games.
Then they all play against each other and they all have it.
Well, the one that Butno was putting together, the Open, would you say that was more successful? I can't even remember how many teams signed up for that. Please
Yeah,
join
it
our
was.
mumble.
But then the Challengers Cup with 32 teams. I mean, we had 34 teams or something wanting to sign up to that, and it was full, and people wanted to. But it was only
Oh, yeah.
because me and Butnos personally badgered all of the teams. Like you were saying, went on a door to door and like, "Hello, good sir, can I introduce you to the good book of Razor Arena?" And then maybe they'd consider signing up.
It's always been that way. Like, I remember doing the same for Excello Cups and Esports Heaven Cups. Like, just having to literally go down your friends list and say, "There's a cup happening. You should play this. You would like this."
What do you think that I do for ESEA? I
Yeah.
message like over 100 teams or even more to get 16 teams together to even make the first season happen.
So is the problem just that, well, in Europe there's this weird situation where ETF2L don't post many announcements. I don't know if people really read the ETF2L news posts in general.
They read them more than anywhere else. Like for all the scrub people
But
in EU,
Half
like they
of
don't pay
Europeans
attention.
don't even they don't read Team Fortress TV, where like most of the new content is being posted.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, am I imagining that like a lot of the lower division players don't read Team Fortress TV in Europe?
Yeah, they don't have a clue. Like they just don't keep up with it at all. They don't. It's like the premier news outlet for TF2, and they just don't pay any attention to it. I mean, we're going to be preaching to the choir here as well, because we're literally broadcasting on TFTV. So anybody, the people who aren't aware that it's happening are not going to be listening to this and changing their minds about keeping up with TFTV. But yeah, ETF2L is the only place that they come to for their fix of competitive TF2, or maybe like TF.wars on IRC or whatever bullshit.
TF.wars.
When was
Now
the
that
last time you
I've,
used that?
Now that I've resigned as caster, I'm going to be making a team for the Razor Arena. December, I'm going to be the one entrant. $1,000 is mine.
Easy money.
I mean, another thing for Razor Arena though, actually, is that there was a troll tournament happened today as well for TF2. So the fact that it's open platform is fantastic, because it means if anyone's got a cup and sponsors, you can run a cup on there. But it also means that people have to use a bit of their brain when looking at things. Like, because there was a 5v5 epic team tournament happening today, hosted by the Equinox, who, when you Google his name, is a 14-year-old YouTuber who's made Minecraft and Terraria videos. Some let's play of an anime game. So the first prize was 500. It didn't say 500 what. It could have been fucking 500 pebbles. But
500 pictures of a cat.
but when people tried to sign up and play it, the admin of the tournament signed on, and he was like, "No, this is a troll tournament." So there's no quality assurance really, but if it's an open platform for anybody to use, if anyone wants to run a cup for anything.
Okay. Like you say, we're preaching to the choir. I guess we need some different approach for the next one. You said, Sideshow, we're going to do it bigger and better for
Yeah, maybe
December
not for
or
December
January.
though. December's going to be
January.
a fuckfest. Yeah, maybe January.
It'd be the perfect time, whenever it's that pre-season time and everybody's getting keen, they want to go
Yeah.
hard. But, yeah, we'll do something about that. I don't have anything else on the agenda here. Anybody else got, some burning issue they want to get off their chest? Now is the time. We've
Just
been
gonna
on the
say-
air for nearly 2 hours.
I was gonna say you should make sure that kind of shit's like in the backcap.tf things. 'Cause I mean that's getting like 90k views on YouTube
Oh, yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah. Well, next week's version of Backcap will have the American version of the Monthly Madness, because it was the only one that was casted, so it's the only one they have highlights of. But in the future, I mean, we couldn't actually do it this week, and we won't be able to do it next week, but we're going to be highlighting things that are coming up for people to watch, and not really for people to sign up to, but for people to watch so like pointing people towards the live news sources. But I was I was desperately looking for something, fucking anything coming up next week or like in the week coming up, and there's just nothing because we're winding down to Christmas. I was like, what can I plug? What can I plug? There's nothing happening.
Maybe throw
Highlander.
together a little
Oh yeah,
gravel
maybe
pit.
Highlander.
Gravel Razor Arena. Stump up some of your. Dip into your bottomless pockets there, Sideshow. I know you're like bankrupting yourself for DreamHack. Do you still believe in gravel pit?
Yeah, I'd also like to pursue. I mean, kind of, but also it doesn't make any difference if it's not in the matchmaking map pool. You know, like you
What
kind
are you
of
on
can.
about? There isn't a fucking matchmaking map pool. There's a fucking alpha map pool. It doesn't mean
No,
anything.
no, no. I mean when it's actually released. I don't mean
Alright.
now.
Oh,
I mean
okay.
when it's actually released. Like if there's no AD in the matchmaking map pool, there's no point in having it in. If there's no Koth in the matchmaking map pool, even though it'd be an absolute blow to remove it, then I mean there's a fairly strong argument for removing it from a league because people are going to jump into a league and be like, what the fuck is this? I've never played this before.
That's
But,
bollocks, though. Like the TS map pool that's played competitively now is prescribed by Valve, but after like 10 years of like competitive history, if you actually like,
Well, yeah, but if they pay attention to what we're doing, then fair enough. But if they don't, if that's what they're just going to run is whatever CTF is going to be a giant portion of it, I don't think we should adopt CTF at all, really. But
it's not gonna be like they're just gonna run it like, and it's like Valve always. It's just like trial and error. They just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
shit, then they throw it out. They barely test it, and they either say, okay, this is good or this sucks, and they do something else. It's not like whatever comes out with matchmaking is going to be set in stone for the next however long.
yeah,
They're only
especially
like,
in terms of maps and stuff.
yeah, it's only going to be set in stone for as long as the fucking like monkeys behind the typewriters can crank out something different.
But yeah, in terms of, I think it'd be nice to have another AD or Koth map in the pool. Remove one of the 5CP, have another Koth that plays slightly differently to Viaduct, or put an AD in there. But not something I'm going to be hammering home. I'm sure everyone's had enough of it. But I think it was worth bringing up the topic.
Yeah, interested about Backcap as well. That's been really well received, and it is like super well produced. Coming out of nowhere with that one, best known for his kind of position within Asia Forest. But Sideshow, tell us about how you got involved with that project, and I've heard you mentioning some other potential pieces of content or series of content you're thinking of working on, interviews and such.
Yeah, so Backcap is Shunik's idea, who is one of the pretty much the main admin for Asia Fortress and has played there for a long time. So he has the ability, God knows how, I think he does like some sick coding and random other production shit. But he's been able to produce these really nice looking videos, and thought that a great way to do it would be like a recap, which would have been a better name for the show really than Backcap, I guess, looking back on it. But of the previous week, highlights and stuff, and he said, is anyone willing to help me out with this? And I was like, yeah, sure. He said, if you want me for voice work or just for like a think tank of how to improve it. But he was like, yeah, sure, do the voice for it. So I did it. And it's going along well. I mean, got news and drama and highlights of clips, so pretty good. And then, yeah, some other projects as well. So it's being hosted on Sin's channel at the moment, which gives it a massive outreach. I mean, it was on comp.tf, and it was getting like, what, 10k views, something like that?
Mm.
And then it's on Sin's, and it's just got like 10 times that. It's so much more. So, Sin asked me if I want to produce any other content for his channel as well. Which, I mean, has a double-pronged reasoning for it. One, because it's got a gigantic outreach to the exact target audience that you'd want of pub players who kind of have probably heard of competitive TF2 but don't really know much about it. So it's perfect for that. And he also gets paid for the YouTube money, so any content that you produce there, you get a slice of it. Because essentially it's just free content for him. Like, why wouldn't he do it? You know, he's all about the YouTube money. I think it's his full-time job. It's just what he does. So any content that other people create and that he puts the minimum amount of work into, fantastic for him. And it's also fantastic for us because at the moment it's the only real platform for it, where you're reaching thousands and thousands of people.
Sideshow is being the kingpin of TF2 now, your full-time job.
It is this year.
Are you going to return to your studies, or are you going to live the esports dream?
Oh yeah, live the esports dream on fucking what, £100 a month or something. I'll live in a box.
How much money are you raking in those Twitch subs, buddy?
All of it put together will be less than I would need to live for 4 months or something. It does not pay my rent. Let's say that.
Okay. I want to believe the dream, but ready to wrap things up then. If there's nothing else to discuss, there's loads of stuff to discuss, but another time. It's been 2 hours. Throw over to SonnyBlack for his shout about the great year of TF2 ahead.
As always, shoutouts to Ipsy, Samzy, and Merlin.
Should we sign up for season 23, SonnyBlack?
Yes, you should. It's
Any deets?
it's starting, I think, late January, but that's week 1 already. So signups will probably open. See, when is that? Like on the 17th or so.
We'll definitely be doing another. I thought you were going to say more. We're definitely going to be doing another episode of Fully Charged before then, or around that time when we see all the new teams forming, etc. CommanderX, see more of you in 2016.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play again. I need to find a demo man, and then we'll enter.
I'm available if playing in the open division.
Well, there we go then. It's settled.
Your shout out, CA.
Shout out to Morphine, because I have no one else to shout out.
Jason Allen, hang around.
Hey, what segment is this? Sorry, I was tuned out.
Shout outs, the
mate.
goodbyes.
The
Can we
shout
expect to
outs.
see you next year?
Yes, you will see me next year. Maybe even sooner, who knows. Shout out to Reason Gaming, and shout out to everyone at Ryan and Amy's. I'm not going to reel off all the names in case I forget someone, but all of you guys. There we go.
Dr. Phil, what does the future hold for LEGO?
We're gonna play next season. Might need one new player, but we'll see. But yeah, I think we're gonna play. Seems like at least.
Who do you want to shout out to?
Shout out to all the Lego boys, and that's about it.
Sideshow.
Shoutouts.
You got big dreams
Oh
for
wait,
2016?
no, actually, shout out to Kos because it's his birthday today. I wanna sing happy birthday to him.
To Mickey.
But I've already sang happy birthday to him today, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that was pretty eight.
Oh yeah, me and Phil did it.
And Monday.
Yeah, Monday half-heartedly did it.
Shout out to V2 as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens next year. We've already seen Banny getting the first competitive matchmaking invite item in-game, whatever matchmaking, it's coming. I'm putting all my faith in Sideshow. He is my new hero. I thought it was just a flash in the pan when he beat me for caster this season last year, but back to back, I bow down to this guy. All the work he's done so far, or in the last, 5 or 6 months, been pretty incredible. Turbo tabs as well. DavidTheWin pulling some long shifts there for ETF2L coverage this season and this year, I suppose. But it's going to be a good year for TF2 in 2016. I hope you'll all stay with us. Head over to teamfortress.tv. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and help us spread the gospel of competitive TF2. I want to shout out Raptor as well, who used that fucking gimmick unlock, the Beggar's Bazooka, to drop me not once, but twice, I think. Maybe just once in a Highlander official today. And you can catch all the Highlander action on Blackout Gaming TV. And, there's just like a million news posts on ETF2L.org if you want to follow Highlander. Great place.
I got one last shout out. Shout out to all the people who actually donated to the Lego fundraiser. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace out.